is going to do as far as this election is concerned. That's for tomorrow, once again. How about a quick preview of what today's show offers? I've got side comments coming up shortly, random stories, random thoughts of mine on this. Yes, indeed. Not to be discussed now, but later on during the open season segment after the 6 p.m. major news. I'll take your thoughts on my side comments and all the other matters discussed on the show today. However, after that, I have a round coming up, my thoughts on a major issue. I'd like to get your take on that till 4 o'clock. 4 p.m. Features the business news. And heck, you must have heard about this, especially if you have been in town. You must have heard about this. The River State governorship debate is coming up. In case you're wondering why I chuckled just a while ago, I'll let you into the joke shortly. The River State governorship debate is happening this weekend, Sunday precisely. You want to find out more about that? What does the River State governorship debate offer? I'll be asking you that in the 4 o'clock hour. But also, I'll have in the studio Peter Mauzi. He's our communications manager with Social Action. And Social Action are one of the partners making up the Rivers Debate Group, organizers of the River State governorship debate once again this Sunday. And the date for that is, let's see now, Sunday 12th, February 12th. This Sunday. Tell you details about that. Who exactly are the candidates? And 45 news update is about. Let's see what happens next. Supreme Court deadline. The AGF Malami has asked the Supreme Court to dismiss a suit filed by 3 northern state governments challenging the February 10 deadline set by the CBN to end the legal tender status of the old Naira notes. The FG argued the Supreme Court lacked jurisdiction to entertain the suit in the preliminary objection filed by the AGF through his lawyers, Mahmoud Magaji and Tijani Ghazali. Consequently, the FG is asking the Apex Court to strike out the suit for lack of jurisdiction. In court filings, the AGF contends, quote, the plaintiffs have equally not shown reasonable cause of action against the defendant. Yeah, and, we'll take a look at this matter. We'll take a look at this matter in the 5 o'clock hour. But I'll be asking you at that time as well. I'll be asking you on this matter. What impact might this have on the general elections? The impact on the economy appears a bit obvious already. But would it have any impact on the elections? If indeed tomorrow's deadline, which is the 10th, does not take effect based on the current Supreme Court order. Anyways, I'll be joined by Barrister Richard Wokocha for that conversation as well, Associate Professor of Public Law at the Rivers State University. Our takes on to 6. However, we've got headlines at 5:30 p.m., the major news at 6 p.m., a review of orders matters during the open season segment. Afterwards, still about 7 when the show comes to an end. So that's a preview of today's show. To join us via Facebook and Twitter at Nigeria Info PH, and you can call 070 093 093. Now, here is the message that caused me to chuckle a while ago. I asked, what will BVAS do in this election? And someone says, BVAS will hijack all the ballot boxes. Yes, indeed. Thugs will not hijack ballot boxes because BVAS has hijacked all of them already. But like I said, this is for tomorrow. For tomorrow. I hope to get your interesting responses. A break right now. I'll return shortly. Do please stay with us.
Diode.
Hello and welcome back. It is Hard Factor Nigeria Info here in Port Harcourt. I'm Diode. 28 minutes gone past 3 p.m. and the conversation is on. Thanks for staying tuned. Let's see. Side comments now. Random stories and my random thoughts on some items that caught my attention earlier today as I checked out the news. Let's start with this one. Governor Nyesom Wike has approved the use of the Yakubu Gowon Stadium in Elekaya, Port Harcourt for the campaign of the APC presidential candidate Bola Tinubu on February 15, 2023. River State Coordinator of Bola Tinubu Campaign Organization, Tony Okocha, disclosed this at today's briefing in Port Harcourt to say Governor Wike approved the use of the stadium without collecting the required 5 million naira fee prescribed by Executive Order 21 from the Campaign Council. He also said the Tinubu Campaign Organization in the state is not in support of the call by some APC members in the state for the declaration of a state of emergency in the state. Okay, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a bit confused there, and I would like for someone in the government to help clarify this for me and clear the air. Because remember when the PDP Presidential Campaign Council had its approval to use the stadium, the Adoki Maka Stadium, for a campaign rally. Different APC or the entire APC. Different APC. Does it mean this particular APC is not known for destroying public property, but another APC is known for destroying public property? Which of the APCs destroys public property? Or has the APC changed from the APC that is known or was known for destroying public property? Just ask it. Because it just seems a bit muddled up in my head. So I'd like some clarity on it, really. That's all, really. And the Federal High Court in Port Harcourt has restrained the Rivers State government from arresting members of the PDP Presidential Campaign Council in the state. The applicants in the suit include former national chairman of the PDP, Prince Uche Secondus, Senator Lee Meiba, Abie Sekibo, Senator George Sekibo, Celestine Mehia, Austin Okpara, among others. Justice Ibrahim, in his ruling on the ex-party application, ordered the Rivers State government and other respondents to maintain status quo until the determination of the suit. As you may know, members of the PDP Presidential Council in Rivers State had gone to court to restrain the first 8 respondents from arresting, harassing, intimidating, or detaining them. Once again, is this one PDP, or is it a different? Is it a PDP different? Really? Is it a PDP different? I mean, why are PDP members going to court to get the PDP government to not arrest them? This is real. I mean, there's a lot that I need to be explained to me as these elections are drawing nearer. There's a lot that's quite confusing, and I'll just need for it to be explained. I'd like for honourables and excellencies to clear the air for me. Yeah, to clear the air. Because once again, PDP members going to court to ask the court to refrain PDP government from arresting them. Wow. Very, very interesting and confusing times we are in. Okay, but someone's trying to explain it for me here. Yes, the APCs are different. River State APC are known for destroying properties. Oh, okay, all right. Bola Tinubu's APC is different. It's a town hall different from APC Rivers. Oh, okay, all right. This one is PDAPC. They are different from APC. That's from Ronald. Oh, this is PDP versus PDAPC. Okay, all of these responses are really not helping. They're simply compounding my confusion. Really, it's not helping at all. Not helping. Let's see if these other ones will help. The destructive APC is the Armored Personnel Carrier. The other APC is All Progressives Congress. This doesn't help either. Just deepening my confusion even more. All right, other matters that caught my attention. This from our news also. The River State Civil Service pensioners have called on the state government to speed up the process. Lucky Ati had to say on this perplexing situation.
The money that government is releasing is not enough for
gratuities, the parastatals, and the death benefits. So we are asking government to release more money. The over 8,000 pensioners that government is owing, from the June that they started till now, they have not been able to pay 2,000 persons. And these 2,000 persons they have not paid them in full. So we are asking and we are praying, we are begging the government to release more money so that these pensioners will not continue to die as they are dying.
Like I said, a lot of confusion around these days, and maybe I'm not as smart as I always thought I would. Maybe I've overestimated myself. Maybe I've always done so, because it appears to me that the pensioners not too long ago had thanked His Excellency for paying them, and they were being paid, and there was congratulatory messages and messages thanking His Excellency for finally releasing funds, and pensioners were being paid their gratuities, and biometrics was taking place, and it appeared all was fine. What's with all the complaints now? And some of the retirees, however, faltered the claim that some people are being paid their gratuities.
If you are taking out 1,000 retirees in a month, you assume that if there are 8,000 retirees within 8 months, the issue must have been settled.
I retired first week of February 2017. Up to this moment, nobody has been paid from 2016 to date. They have not paid one person, no single person. And none of us are dead. Many of us are sick. Actually, they are paying us pension. But we need that's our own gratuity, our own arrears. We need them. They have not been paid. Why we gathered here is for us to get this gratuity before many of us will die.
I retired 2014 and I started my pension in 2015, March. Up to now, I've not seen my gratuity. So let enough money be released into the system. Because the mainstream that needs this money, the money is not coming in India. Money goes to the government house, retirees, and parastatals.
Okay, once again, I thought Mr. Lokiati and maybe some other executives had thanked the government and His Excellency for finally heeding the call and attending to the plight of pensioners, and that they were being paid, because that made the news some weeks or months ago. I'm quite certain of that, Anyways, well, it's a sad development. I mean, people who have given their best years to the state deserve to get what is owed them. They're not begging for handouts. This is what they're entitled to. Now, I don't know if this government, if this is the real state of things, because tomorrow again you might hear another message thanking His Excellency for all the payments that has been received. So I don't know. I mean, if this is the real state of things, and it is sad indeed, and I hope that they will be paid. I don't know if that's going to happen between now and the expiration of this administration. But I think it will help if we are straightforward about these matters. Not 1 week we complain about gratuities or pensions not being paid. The next week we are thanking His Excellency for all the payments that we are receiving. In fact, we have never been paid like this before. In fact, in the history of payment of gratuities and pensions, this is the best kind of payment that we have ever seen. Then a week or two after, we are complaining, we are not being paid. Nobody is being paid. We are dying. We are not being paid. Then give it another week or two. Oh, we have never seen payment like this before. This must be a payment different. Yeah, but I mean it's disturbing. Let's stick to what the issues are. Let's stick to the facts of the matter. Let's not try to please people or make people happy. We have real problems there. If the situation is people are not being paid, let's stick to that one narrative until people are paid. And that will help address these issues and ensure that they are fixed a lot faster. So I think that might be it. I think that might be it for today's side comments. I think that's going to be it for the side comments. But before I wrap it up completely, maybe a few more explanations regarding what's going on to help me clear the air. Someone says this is anti-party APC. Suleiman goes, it means both parties have factions. There's the River State PDP and the Articulate PDP. So also there is the Amechi-led APC, the FG APC. They are not the same. And that's from Kelly. Okay, all right, maybe that tends to kind of clear the air somewhat, I suppose. So that's it for side comments. I go for a break. When I return, today's round comes on. Please stay with us.
There are times in life where we don't get to choose what family you're born into, how many hours we have in a day. Other times, you have a choice. What kind of company should I keep? Who should I marry? The man who can choose but refuses to is no better than the man who has no choice. I'm Sam Oracle Chinedu, here to remind you that your vote is your voice. Make a choice.
Hello, welcome back. It is Hard Factor Nigeria Info and Hearing Podhanka time dial. We got 20 to go before 4 p.m. I'd like to rant for just a bit. But before I get into the rant today, this is a very quick aside. As you very well know, political parties are holding rallies across the country at the moment. And I won't mention which particular rally, I won't mention which state, I won't mention which party. But, you know, we've got some screens here in the studio. And on one of the screens right now, I'm seeing some rally going on in some part of the country, and I'm seeing honorables, you know, all over the place, and I'm seeing very regular looking folks as well. You know, they're milling around them, you know, with honorables, with regular people, the masses, ordinary Nigerians all together, and they're all shouting and holding hands and putting hands up. It's interesting, really. You never get it's quite fascinating. Because after these elections, I don't think that these honorables will be able to get this close to the masses again. You know, I think at that time, when the masses get close to honorable, Mopo will use their guns to break their heads. Because at that time, it will look like the masses, they will have intelligence report that the masses want to kidnap honorable or want to kill honorable. But now, the masses have unfettered access to honorable. They are getting close to them, they are shaking their hands, they are hugging them, they are raising their hands up, and, you know, everybody's screaming one party slogan or the other. But I just can't help but feel some empathy for this ordinary Nigeria, these masses. Because once elections are over, I don't think Mopo will allow them to get this close to honorable. Anyways, that's just an aside, just me thinking out loud. Alright, so once again, let's get to today's rant. There's something on my mind. I'd like to express some thoughts on it, and you're very welcome to express your thoughts and mine all the way till 4 p.m. One of the really remarkable things about government in Nigeria, and I mean governments at all levels, is that sometimes conveniently, Nigerian governments do not realize or forget, I don't know which one it is really, I'm not certain, that it is their responsibility to enforce their own policy. One of the things that Nigerian governments consistently do or fail to realize is that they are responsible for their own policies. They are responsible for their own actions or inactions. Nigerian governments never take responsibility for their failings. Whenever something goes wrong with any administration, once again at any level, somebody else has to be blamed for this. Somebody else must take responsibility for this. And somehow they don't realize that even when a government has, when some order comes from government, or some government sources, or when a policy has been announced by government, it's not enough to announce policy. It's not even enough to give a directive or issue an order. The enforcement of that policy, the implementation of that order, is that government's responsibility also. And how they don't understand this is completely beyond me. Because you would think that this will be easy to comprehend. Now, here is one example of such a scenario. This story, is a Daily Trust? Yes, Daily Trust. And it's captioned, Petrol price hike, FG orders NMDPRA to sanction filling stations. It sounds like a nice headline, doesn't it? Let's get to the details. The federal government has linked the increasing rise in the price of petrol in the country to the action of petroleum marketers who are in a hurry to make illicit profits from the hardship of Nigerians. By the way, it's important to note, unlike unknown gunmen, these are not unknown marketers. I mean, unknown gunmen are supposedly unknown, which is why possibly, or which explains the reason our security agents are unable to apprehend them. But that's a different matter for another discussion, because they are unknown. Marketers, on the other hand, are not unknown. After all, remember sometime last year, December or thereabouts, the DSS gathered the marketers in some location where they had a meeting, and the DSS issued a 48-hour ultimatum. By the way, reminder to the DSS, are you aware that that 48 hours ultimatum has expired since last year? Just asking. Once again, the marketers are known. They are not unknown. So if the marketers are sabotaging the system and profiteering, as the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timi Silva, mentioned recently, why have these saboteurs, in quotes, not been apprehended yet? Because once again, they are not unknown. They are, in fact, known. Now, back to the story. Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timi Silva, said this Wednesday while answering questions from State House correspondents after a FEC meeting in Abuja. Reports have it that most fuel stations in different parts of the country now sell above the approved pump price of 195 naira, with many others reportedly holding the product. Now, speaking on this development, the minister said, quote, "We have reports of profiteering by marketers and have directed Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority (NMDPRA) to sanction anybody who profiteers in this kind of situation. I mean, we cannot stand by and watch our citizens being exploited by marketers." Now, first and foremost, I don't understand why the minister has to give this directive to the NMDPRA. Because the NMDPRA exists for only one purpose, a purpose such as this. It's kind of like after Jesus was born. I mean, the whole reason, even from prophecy in the Old Testament, that Jesus came was to die for mankind. That's why he came. Imagine that after Jesus came, after he was born of Mary, the virgin birth, of course, and Joseph, imagine that Jesus, or God rather, had to send Angel Gabriel to further give Jesus a directive to die. There would have been no point of that, because the whole purpose, the whole essence of his birth, of his virgin birth, the whole reason we had the three wise men, the only reason they saw a star, which they followed, and they encountered Herod at some point, and they eventually got to the manger where Jesus was delivered, and they gave those the gifts and all of that. The only reason for all of that, the virgin birth and everything else around it, the only purpose for that story, or that happening or scenario, was that Jesus would die for humanity. He would go to the cross, he would lay down his life, and on the third day he would rise again. So imagine that after all of this, and at some point in Jesus' life, God had to send an angel to give Jesus a directive to go die. It would not have been necessary. So the NMDPRA was set up to ensure that marketers do not profiteer. So why the minister has to give them another directive, I don't get it. But in spite of this directive, guess what? It hasn't happened, supposedly. Back to the story, quoting the minister again. "But of course, I've given that directive, and I don't know if it has not taken effect. I don't know the details of how far that directive has been carried out, but I'm going to still further give that directive if that is still the situation, but we are definitely not paying a blind eye at all." So the minister has given the NMDPRA directives, but the minister does not know if his directive has been given effect to. As a matter of fact, the minister suspects that nobody is listening to his directive, that the guys at the NMDPRA, kind of like officers in the Nigerian police force, are saying right now, ministers give directive. Oh, go and call minister now. Go and call minister to come and effect this. You know how officers of the Nigerian police force will tell you, when you tell them what the IG has said, IG given effect to. Now, Silva, while stating that the ministry was not in control of all the factors that had contributed to the fuel crisis, assured that all steps were being taken to end the hardship. And I have to quote the minister again. But of course, I've given that directive and I don't know if it has not taken effect. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources does not know if a directive that came from his office to an agency of government has been effected or not. I don't know the details of how far that directive has been carried out. He does not know. If an agency of government set up to do a job for which he has issued an extra directive to do that job, the minister does not know if the agency has carried out his directive or not. Incredible. And sometimes you hear this script and the stories and you just think only in Nigeria. Only in Nigeria. But then again, conclusively, this is a reminder to governments in Nigeria that besides issuing directives and crafting policies, it is your responsibility as well to enforce or implement these directives and policies. And you have to know if they have been given effect to. On that note, I end my rant. Thanks for listening. Hope you went bored. Let's get your take on my call. 070-093-093. We're live on Facebook and Twitter at Nigeria Info PH. Let's get your take. Keep it brief and straight to the point and turn off your radio set once the call is answered. Once again, number to call is 070-093-093. Or via Facebook and Twitter at Nigeria Info PH. Hello, Hard Factor, welcome.
Hello, Darren.
Hello, go ahead.
You see, the problem is this. The directives have been given, and the people that are to follow up the directives can go to police station and collect money. And any station they see, that means that person has refused to pay the money they wanted to collect. So it's just that.
Okay. Hello, you're welcome.
Hello, Dayo. I think it's also important we realize that Dimitri Silva is not the substantive Minister of Petroleum. So at his level as the state Minister of State for Petroleum, he may have given a directive, but it's probably not sure if the substantive Minister of Petroleum had given a counter order. And that's why he said he's not too sure if his directive has been effected. So it's just to tell you what is playing out there, since he's not the substantive Minister of Petroleum.
But, I mean, before he would give out such an order, shouldn't himself and the substantive minister have had some kind of conference or consultations?
It may or may not have happened.
I mean, seriously? So the Minister of State would issue an order that he thinks would be in conflict with the order that may have been given by his Oga at the top?
Things happen, like you said. This is Nigeria.
All right, good to hear from you as well. Well, how about you? What do you make of this? Maybe still got some time to go before 4 o'clock when this wraps up. 070-093. 093. Hard Factor, welcome. Go ahead, please.
Mr. Daniel, good afternoon.
All right, go on.
Comrade SDS, that side, and good afternoon.
Hello? Got a commercial break coming up shortly, as indeed, but let's see. If they don't take Buhari's directive seriously, is it that of a common minister they will take seriously? Good afternoon. Regarding, okay, well, I'm not sure I have, do I have enough time for another message? Maybe not right now. Well, I have a break. Okay, Quick one. Good afternoon, Dar. Regarding the minister's statement, it only smacks of inaptitude, incompetence, and a failure of leadership. It's the same reason the president, who was Minister of Petroleum, still had to set up a 14-man committee to address the scarcity, a responsibility clearly within his purview. Oh, well. So, I'll go for that quick break. I'll return shortly and still take more of your responses to my rant till about 4 o'clock when the news comes up. Do please stay with us.